Well, hello there, folks. Welcome to episode 4 of Taking in the Outdoors. I think you'll enjoy this one. This is another one of those where, you're going to just want to sit back and take in the great outdoors. So, let's not waste any time. Let's get right at it. Well, folks, okay, episode 4 of Taking in the Outdoors. Well, this one, now, mind you, I love the outdoors. Yeah, you all, anybody that knows me knows I love the outdoors. Am I a tree hugger? What people like to call tree huggers? Well, I'm not truly a tree hugger, I guess. But I do love my outdoors, and I do anything I can do to protect the outdoors. And one of those things is to always be aware of your surroundings and what is and what is not. Obvious. I mean, that it's so often that people don't realize that they are when they go out and they experience the outdoors, what goes on out there goes on every day and night, 24/7, 365 days a year. The outdoors is always the outdoors. The changes in the outdoors are always so natural and sometimes quite subtle, and we don't realize those changes. It's important for us to be out there and take it all in so that we can gauge the changes in our natural environment around us. Today's topic is visit a lonely pine. There you go, right there, right there. There's a nice lonely pine that I'd love to go visit. I'd love to go visit this big old pine over here. There's a great base to it too. See that nice root base? I could sit up against that pine, hike over there, plop my butt on the ground, put my back up against that pine, and just look at the scenery here. And just kick back, whether it be an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. As long as I felt, to me, finding a lonely pine like this and sitting under it and just for no other reason but to just take in what's out there around me. I don't have to be in motion. I don't have to be moving around. I don't have to be hiking to the top of this hill over here. I don't need to be hiking off in the distance towards those mountains in the background. I can just sit at that pine. Sit under that pine and take it all in. Now, mind you, there stands a lone pine. Now, I've seen many over the years, many trees. It doesn't even have to be a pine. Any old tree that's standing all by itself, doesn't have a bunch of growth around it, under it, next to it. It's kind of unique because it's standing by itself. And it's got an awesome view from it. I find old single standing trees like this, and I'll walk up to them intentionally, and I walk around the tree looking out away from the tree. I look at the base of the tree, and where's the best place is to nestle my butt in and lean against the tree and just look out. And from where I sit, I can look 180 degrees with no effort, and I can just take in all of that beauty, right? But I'll walk around that tree to find that best spot. And then I'll nestle myself down, lean up against that tree, that old tree, standing there all alone. And I'll look up in that tree. You never know. There could be critters up there. There could be a bird up there, or two or three. It could be a hawk or an eagle roosted up in that tree that you didn't realize. Or there might just be a couple of pine squirrels or gray squirrels chasing each other around up in that tree. That's cool. That's cool to watch. It's the only tree close. All the other trees are kind of off in the distance a bit. There's a fair amount of room between this lone tree and all the others. And I look off in the distance, and you wouldn't believe how many times I've sat under a lone tree like this, and I'm just looking at that panoramic view, taking in the outdoors. And all of a sudden I see there's something crossing that hillside there. And I'll look. Usually I got a pair of field glasses with it. Sometimes I got to use them. I can see the movement, but I can't tell what it is. Use the field glasses to take a peek. Oh, by golly, there's a white-tailed doe with two little fawns walking across that hillside. Isn't that awesome? I would have never noticed them. If I was just hiking myself around. For one thing, I probably would have spooked them, and they would have ran up over that hill, and I'd never seen them. But instead, today, I sat under this lone tree. I went out and visited a lonely pine. And sitting there under that lonely pine, I got to see things that I typically would not have seen. I got to experience things in the outdoors that I would have missed otherwise. Would I have had an enjoyable time if I was out hiking and I headed down towards these mountains in the background over here? If I hiked up over this ridge and down the other side, would I have enjoyed that? Well, certainly I would have. But occasionally, one of these old lonely pines, you sit underneath it and you take it all in. And all of a sudden you realize just how rewarding the outdoors, the great outdoors, truly is. And all the things that you may be missing while you're out there. Another thing I like to do under these old pines is reflect. I think of days past in the outdoors and how much I've done and would love to do again. It gives me, it inspires me then. Just sitting there taking in the view, I become inspired by it, and I tell myself, I need to be out here more often. I need to just expose myself to the outdoors more often. This is so comfortable, so relaxing, and so rewarding. Why aren't I here more often? I should be here as often as possible. All the outdoor activities in the world, there's so many, and they take effort. By golly, they do take a lot of effort. Visiting a lonely pine takes very little effort. And I I'm telling you, you can find lonely pines all over. There's a little lake that I just love. I just love that lake. Um, it's such a nice lake to visit. But the best part of that whole lake is there's one huge, beautiful, beautiful white pine. And it's about 20 feet up the bank from the water's edge of the lake. And it looks out over the whole lake. And a little bit off to the right on the lake is due west. And I can go out there and I can plop underneath that big white pine, nestle my butt in and lean up against that nice big white pine. Now around it, there's not another tree around it. That tree is so big and majestic, and there's so much shade caused by it that very few things want to grow near it. So all the way around it, there's not another tree within 25 feet of me, of that lone, big, majestic pine, all the way to the water's edge. No growth, just small grass and very low brush down to the water's edge. So it's a beautiful panoramic view of the lake. And if I sit there straight into the evening, I get to watch a beautiful western horizon as the sun sets, all from underneath that huge white pine. And eagles frequent that lake. So almost every time I've been there and sat under that pine for an hour, 2, 3, I've seen bald eagles fly over the lake. They'll come in right close to you. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. If I would not have taken the time to sit under that old, lonely white pine, this old, lonely old man would have missed so much. So do it, folks. Find yourself an old, lonely tree out there, a pine tree, an oak tree, a big maple tree, something with a nice big canopy on it. And plop yourselves down and take in the outdoors. Till the next episode, folks, I want you all to take care of yourselves and put a little effort into finding that lonely pine and give it a little company. Go out there and spend some time with it. I assure you, you won't regret it. Thanks much. You all have a very, very nice day. Bye-bye.